It is freaking hot out here. We are in the middle of Longview, Texas, and that is my new pickup truck. I just bought this F-350 high output Super Duty diesel, and I've got to go on a road trip about 800 to 1,000 miles. I just picked it up from the dealer less than 30 minutes ago. Watch my previous video on that. And now we're going for the first ever road trip unloaded. It's sort of the break-in trip for the truck. No load and varying speed will be the name of the game. I'm curious about break-in efficiency. I'm curious about the driver assistance tech in here. Yes, this actually has lane centering. One of the reasons I went for the Ford over other trucks on the market. And then in the next video, I'm going to reveal to you the trailer, and then we'll have our trailer road trip back to Colorado. But in this video, we're going from East Texas all the way to East Georgia in the new F-350 diesel. Oh, I'm so excited. Can't wait. Join me for a fun little road trip, hopefully fun road trip, our first ever road trip of many in the new out-of-spec diesel tow truck. So I call this the out-of-spec diesel tow truck in the previous clip because that's actually what it's intended for. I bought this to tow our vehicles around with a car hauler. And so I actually bought the car hauler first, and then I went, oh shit, I don't have a truck to pull it. So last minute, just found that one of the remaining 2024 F-350 Limiteds that was left anywhere in the country, only a handful of them left. And man, is this interior not beautiful. This is so nice. It's also so incredibly hot out here. We got to start this thing up and rip some max AC. I'm going to show you the route, get all the settings set up, and then we're going to hit the road. Well, guys, I'm in the truck now. We've got some cool gauges to look at. First of all, I've got a sick head-up display, and I can control everything through here. So first of all, let's go over to the head-up display stuff, and I can come up to the content. We want it all selected. Drive mode layout. So this is normal. This is tow haul. So it actually gives me my RPM gauge up there. And we've got an off-road view with a bunch of stuff. That is sick. I actually think the tow haul is the best because I can keep navigation and my RPM gauge right up there. So let's do that. Then I've also got a bunch of different gauge layouts for in here, such as diesel measurements, so I can pull up all the stuff that I love to see, turbo boost pressure, exhaust brake percentage, bunch of great stuff in there. So I am curious to see how often this truck will go into regen, which will basically blow out the soot from the exhaust. We have so much that we can pull up here. Settings, what do we have? Configure gauges, swap gauge position. Don't know. Oh, that swaps those up there. What do we think? No, I think that makes sense. Left selectable gauge, oil pressure, engine oil temperature, I think is more important for what I'm looking for. How about that? That is so cool. And then you could get a boost gauge up there as well, which might be, at least while I'm towing, probably less important than a transmission temp gauge, although temperature gauge option detailed. Oh, let's get the numbers in there. Sick. Wow, this is so cool. So many different freaking options in here, which is amazing. So we can also go to change this view around somehow. I don't exactly 100% know how to do all this yet, but plenty of options that I'm going to be playing around with. Temperature gauges, auxiliary gauges, temperature, diesel. Wow. Okay. We've got a lot that we can play around with in there, which is going to be awesome. And then over here, I've got trip 1 and trip 2 dialed in. Let's see. We've got a bunch of other things that we can show on the split screen, which is great. Bed camera, zone lighting, pro power on board. I do love that I can pull up the bed camera at all times. By the way, this system, just like all Fords, just way too laggy. Zone lighting, where's the bed camera? Boom, hit that. Then you can see what's going on in your bed as you go down the road, so you can make sure stuff doesn't fly out, which is great. I'm noticing this is an issue here. Our headliner doesn't really fit so well right there, and that's something on delivery. I gotta see what's going on there. It looks like someone fixed something or pulled on this, and it just, that's a problem. So that's got to get fixed. I got to message them about that right away and let them know. So that's a real problem. But other than that, that's the only issue I can find with the truck. Everything else is working perfectly. I've got my profile set up, all my settings set. We are going to head out on a road trip. So let me show you where we are going. We are going from here in East Texas to there in, I guess, south central Georgia. We've got a couple different routes we could go. We could go the ocean route. We could go up through Atlanta but I think we're just going to take the direct route, stop somewhere early tonight, just get a few hours under our belt, and then we'll do the main drive tomorrow. Today's Saturday, tomorrow is Sunday. We need to be there Monday morning, which means we have all the time in the world to take a leisurely cruise. So let's get some hours done. I've got a lot of work and editing to do anyway, so let's just get underway and see how far we make it. But we're just going to be cruising this first trip, which is perfect. Might take some back roads and really try and break in the truck so we're not just sitting at constant highway speed, which, yeah, probably not going to kill it, but it's not the best thing for it when it's brand new. We have got 55 miles on this thing now, which means I've been driving it for a whole 25 miles. You can smell the break-in smells coming off this thing. I actually just went through a bunch of gauges on the drive over and noticed that this really did not have much idle time, which is great. That was something I was a little worried about. It's only had 3 hours of idle time, and it's been built for almost a year. If you haven't watched my previous video, I explained that I actually had the oil changed before I picked it up from the dealership. I paid for an oil change with 20 miles on the odometer. And the reason I did that was just because if you turn a diesel on when they're cold and shut them off when they're cold, you can get a lot of diluting of the oil and some moisture in there. And I really just wanted to have fresh oil for the trip. I'm also going to do an oil change right after this drive to kind of get all that break-in junk out of there. You can never do enough oil changes for these, and that's just my methodology with all my combustion cars. I always do heavy oil changes, and they, you know, it's just peace of mind more than anything. $100, $150, $200 to protect my almost $100,000 investment. The sticker for this truck was actually $100,200 or $100,750, somewhere around there. I got about 10 grand off because it was a 2024 with the A-plan employee pricing that they were doing as part of a promotion for everyone. It's not like we got a special deal. The dealer did contribute a little bit. I negotiated with them a bit, but all in all, I got about 10 grand off the price of this truck, which is really, really great. That's why I wanted to find a 24. So driving this truck initially, just to share some impressions with you, it's amazing. The lane centering works really well. I think it's actually out of alignment a little bit, so I'm going to have it aligned when I get back. I've just been having a lot of alignment issues with vehicles recently, but it cruises. The torque is amazing. I'm really trying not to get too hard into the throttle. I've gone about maybe 40% throttle so far, got about 15 PSI of boost out of it. And I am just boosting it up, letting it vacuum. You'll notice in the clips, I'm taking side roads, coming back to the highway, varying the speed. That becomes less important as we get through braking, but especially now, I'm just trying to vary the load on the transmission, on the drive axles, on the differential, and yeah, kind of do all that stuff just to really break it in properly. And I'm just having a blast. I've got time. It's probably excessive, but I'm really just enjoying it. The sound system is amazing in this truck. The seats are comfortable. The massage is great. We'll see how that holds up over time. But for now, I've just really been enjoying this truck. And I've just kept it in normal mode. You know, I haven't put it in any other fancy mode that's on offer with this drive mode switch, because really the normal mode's the one we want. We've got slippery, off-road, and then you can go all the way to the other side and do eco, towing, or normal. Yeah, this thing is awesome. I am so in love with this truck. I'm so glad that I got it. I really, you know, we're lucky we get to drive a lot of cars and stuff, but this just feels right. This feels like a truck that I I'm going to drive it way more than I was thinking. I love this thing. It's so sick. We even got the upfitter switches. Hell yeah. We don't have anything plugged into there. I really think this headliner needs to be fixed. It looks like someone ripped on it here, and it feels just a little loosely mounted. So I got to tell the guys about that. But other than that one issue and maybe the alignment, I can't find anything at fault with the truck. It's really great. I'm loving this thing. So we're going to get back on the road. I don't want to idle it too long. Just continue the journey east, and I'll just take exits, jump back on, vary the speed, and who knows where we'll make it to today, but we don't really need to make it anywhere today. We're just kind of driving around, breaking it in, having some fun. Weather, and we just crossed 100 miles on the odometer, and yeah, this is some gnarly weather. Honestly, pretty good for braking because we're totally varying the speeds here. But 100.1 miles in traffic in Shreveport, Louisiana, going across the water right now. Truck is cruising. Man, I cannot wait to just keep driving this truck. I love this thing. It's so cool. Big trucks are awesome. Just stopped over here at the Pilot Flying J site right off the highway. Man, the weather was crappy and I'm getting hungry. So I stopped for a snack. We're going to pull in early tonight. This has been the plan because I got to work and get some videos up. So I found a Town Place Suites and Marriott something or other near Monroe, Louisiana. It's like another hour down the road. What time is it? It's currently 6 p.m. So I'm not sure if they're East Coast time or not, or even what time zone we're in. We're either in Central or East Coast, but another hour on the road should be good, and then we can get some work done. Gotta say, the more I drive this truck, the more I'm enjoying it. It's just something so useful and so nice. But now that I've noticed this headliner doing this thing, this has really been pissing me off, looking at this not sitting right. It's not the end of the world, but kind of does bug me. Anyway, time to pop into the Pilot Flying J, maybe grab a little snack or something over here, and then we'll hit the road and continue another hour, and then I'll share my thoughts after driving this for the first day. I've really been trying to vary the speeds, like go slow, go quick, acceleration, vacuum. I even hit the exhaust brake for a couple seconds. I didn't know that was going to work without a trailer, but it does build boost and do the exhaust brake without a trailer. I didn't let it rip for too long, but just a few seconds of it, and it's really nice. Can't wait to use that one. I'm towing in the mountains of Colorado. That'll be great. Bit like regen almost. So power running boards pop down. That's sick. All right, let's pop in, get some snacks. Well, all right, we got a water and a little beef jerky stick situation. Time to get back on the road. Well, you guys joined me in Monroe, Louisiana, and we have actually been here many times on our out-of-spec motoring channel because the Tesla supercharger is right back over in this area. And I remember riding my little e-bike ripping around the mall here in this parking lot, and here we are again. Also, another realization is this is the exact highway we took the last time I bought a new truck, which was my Cybertruck. And that's since gone, and this sort of, I guess, replaces the Cybertruck. But yeah, we did the I-20 route going in the opposite direction. So, man, I can't wait to start tweaking this thing a little bit. It looks so silly without a trailer on there. It needs a level kit so bad, doesn't it? Or it just needs the trailer on it all the time. Maybe I shouldn't touch the suspension because I'm sure the Ford engineers knew what they were doing. It just looks silly. And I didn't buy this truck for looks. We bought this to work for us, to tow. I have to say, really commendable fuel economy on the first leg. Now, I'm keeping my foot out of it and just cruising along and, you know, doing between 68 and 75 miles an hour, varying my speed. You probably could tell I took a bunch of exits, drove around local roads, got back on. We weren't in a rush, and it's really not great to just sit at constant speed and brake in. Oh man, I love the roof marker lights that we have spec'd on this as well. That was like a $90 option. Should be standard, but I'm so glad that whoever spec'd this truck got it. That was one of the 2 options on this truck, actually. There's only 2. Limited came with everything. There were more you could get. You could get an engine block heater. You could get a bed liner, some other things. You could actually delete the carpet out of here, which is really funny. This one, of course, has the carpeted mats. The only options are the locking differential in the rear, and it's got the highway axle, the 331, which that's the primary use for this truck. The other option would have been a 355. They're very close. We're talking like 200, 300 RPM difference at 70 miles an hour. It didn't make that much of a difference to me. And if I could spec it, I'd probably choose the 355, but I'm okay with this axle ratio in here. Pretty good. And then the other option was the roof marker lights. So pretty fun spec on this thing. I like it. Can't wait to black it out. But yeah, we got like 17.5 to 18 miles to the gallon, just cruising gently. I figured it was going to be worse than that, especially during break-in. So very impressive. We actually, our fuel range to empty hasn't budged at all. It's still showing over 400 miles left on this tank that we left with, which is just amazing. As someone who drives EVs a lot, that is hilarious. How good the highway range is on this truck. And the short bed truck doesn't even get that big of a fuel tank. You can get like a 40-something gallon if you get the 8-foot box on this thing. So call me very thrilled with the initial drive. It's a little bit unsmooth. If it's an unloaded F-350, it's not going to ride like a Cadillac. It rides like a truck. I feel like I could take a little bit of air pressure out of the rear tires though. Let's actually see what the sticker says, because they're at 80 PSI. And I did bring my tire pressure thing. Yeah, I mean, it's set to factory recommended cold pressures. Wow, what is our payload on this thing? 3,921 pounds? Damn, that's the most I've ever had in a vehicle. That's awesome. And that's why it rides like crap, because it can handle so much weight. It'll probably smooth out when we put some weight in there for sure. And since we bought this as a tow rig, that totally makes sense and works for me. So with all that said, I'm gonna go over here to the hotel and start editing some videos for you guys, and that'll be that. Then we'll leave in the morning and figure out the plan. We've got, I don't know, 600-700 miles to do tomorrow, something like that, in my new truck. I'm just thrilled with it. I can't say enough good things about it. Sound system's good. Lane centering isn't terrible, actually. When it's windy, the lane centering gets a little bit mixed up, but when it's nice like this, it pretty much did all the driving to get me here, which was nice. And then I was just kind of running it through the gears to change the RPM around a lot so it didn't sit at one constant speed. We're not just breaking in the engine, we got to break in the axles and everything. So I was also varying vehicle speed as well. Look at this little graphic they got going. Super Duty. We always call them Super Douchies, but now we got one. Sick. Love it. Always parking right where I feel most comfortable, near charging equipment. I've also charged here so many times. It's great to be back. Weird not to plug in. Weird not even have to think to plug in. Uh-oh. F-150 Lightning coming in on a truck. Hope it's not dead, and I hope they don't think they're able to charge here. That would be a problem. So I just checked into the hotel, but I saw that Lightning getting dropped off over here, and it's not going to be able to charge at this supercharger because it's a version 2 supercharger. So I think I gotta let these guys know and help them find a alternative charging location, because I'd hate to see them unload and then not be able to charge back up. So I'm gonna go talk to them. So I just spoke to the Lightning owner. He said he had 5% state of charge and was worried he couldn't make it here. I'm like, well, I don't understand. Run that thing out if you're gonna get a tow truck. Anyway, he's got 5%, so he's gonna drive it to the EA, which is on the other side of the parking lot. But he thought he could charge with this supercharger, but unfortunately not possible. Good morning. I've been working like crazy, so I don't have to the rest of this trip as much. And we got a bunch of videos posted today, which is great. Love that I can just walk up and it auto unlocks on approach. The running boards pop out on approach. Nice truck. I was able to look outside of it from my hotel window all night, which was great. So I don't know why, but I love this truck. I mean, I know why. It's a nice truck, but I just think it's so sick. Also, I haven't really checked out what's going on. Let me pull this seat up with this situation. Nice little storage thing. And this can fold down when I put the dogs back here so they get the whole room. That is wonderful. Love that feature. That is great. For now, though, we'll keep it down. And I think there's even a little bit of storage back here behind this seat. Yeah, just a little something I can put back there. Yeah, little like a tire pressure filler, stuff like that. So sick. I'm gonna try out the app and see how long it takes to remote start it. All right, just ordered Starbucks a couple miles away, like 4 miles away, and that way we're not just jumping straight onto the highway. There is a Starbucks in the mall back over here, but again, I'm trying to vary our RPM a little bit. Let's open up the shade. OG Model S in green, great spec. Love those. That thing's had a rough life is what it looks like. And then we've got the OG superchargers. It is always fun to see who stays at hotels when there's charging, but honestly, supercharging's not that convenient. Gotta buckle up. Not that convenient for hotel charging, because you actually want to level 2 charge and not have to like charge your car up and then get out of bed to go move it once it's at 100. So anyway, we've got about 8 miles of city driving to do, and then we're going to jump on the highway. The one thing I'm really curious about is, let's pull up our diesel gauges. Nope, got to go to gauges, general diesel measurements. All right, so we have 20% load on the exhaust filter. It did regen yesterday. We had our first ever regen cycle, and I could kind of tell when the truck was regenning. It just felt like it was running a little bit hotter. There was something going on there. And that was its first ever regen that blows out all the, burns off all the soot in the exhaust to create less nitrous oxide, noxious something, don't know, not a chemist. But, you think I'd drive enough electric miles where I could delete my truck, but nope, that'll kill the planet. So not possible. I'm not deleting this truck because it would be illegal. So we are heading to Starbucks, be there in a couple miles. And I just love driving this truck. Some of the viewers, I put up the video today, our delivery video this morning. Some of the viewers were saying we should take some air pressure out of the rear tires. I totally agree, but I've got to put air pressure right back in there for tomorrow because we're towing. So I think I'm just going to leave it as OE. But normally when I'm not towing with this truck, I will bring that 80 PSI down to 60 PSI in the rear. Donk! We're in the South because we got donks. That's awesome. Oh, I don't want to jump on the highway. I'm going to take back roads over there. Let's not do the highway thing. Heading into downtown Monroe, Louisiana. I've only ever been off the highway to that supercharging spot. Actually, maybe that's not true. I feel like I had a family member that lived here when I was a kid. We had to go to a funeral in a place that looked like that. And I remember getting covered in fire ants. And it may have been that exact street for all I know. That looked so familiar. Anyway, yeah, so not my first time here, I guess. But we've got to get some Starbucks downtown. Truck's driving great. Things are going well. And I know I've said this 5,000 times in this video. I could not be more thrilled with this purchase. What a truck. We've got to get that headliner fixed. We've got to get the alignment fixed. We're going around the left corner, so that's why it looks excruciatingly bad right now. But once that's all fixed, we will be rock solid. Love the head-up display, by the way, with the RPM gauges and my gear selection. That is awesome. Well, we've got to get to Atlanta. I'm going to try the built-in navigation now. I can't figure out how to get this dang split screen to go away. I don't want it. Go away. Not sure. Maybe I can just hit full screen here. There we go. So we're going to search premium connectivity. I thought this came with premium connectivity. To use navigation? Forward. What the heck is going on here? Connected navigation. On. This is dumb. Okay. Upload. No. Forward assistant. Don't know. Share driving data. What? Your forward assistant service will not be connected and you will not be able to dictate text messages. No, cancel. We'll keep that. Speech recognition feedback, share media analytics, share vehicle analytics, share driving data. What do they want my driving data for? To learn how much I drift this thing around? Braking, seatbelt status, acceleration pedal. I feel like they're not using this for anything that's going to help me, so no. Oh, I don't know. Just leave it. Whatever. Okay, so now we've got, I think, that turned on. Now I can use navigation. Oh, enhanced. Yes, to enable advanced features. Set up your address so you can easily get home from anywhere. Not right now. Let's go to Atlanta Airport. ATL. INTL. International. There we go. I'm not sure what airline Alyssa is flying, but I think she gets in at around 5 to 6 p.m. So we've got to go through Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and then off to Georgia. 6 hours, 53 minutes, 500 miles to get there. Include 4x4 roads, only if it's faster.
Obey traffic laws. Be
Oh,
alert and use
this lady's
voice
got to stop
commands while
talking.
driving.
Voice, no.
Please proceed to the highlighted
6:03
road.
p.m. Okay, I think we're going to be there a little bit after she lands. So we got to hit the road. Time to boogie. Put this thing into reverse. Whoop, honked the horn by accident. Nothing to see here. And we are off. We have made it to the Supercharger and the Electrify America charger at Buc-ee's, but we're here to get diesel. 580 miles on the odometer now. Pretty good. I've got 53 miles remaining. So this is a 600-mile truck unloaded at highway speed, which I think is really exciting. If we come over here, I figured out how to get this in full screen. I hit that button there. We got 20 miles to the gallon. That's crazy. Can we see trip one? Because that's what we really started with. Oh wait, I gotta hit these. Trip one, 20.3 mpg, 555 miles on the tank with 50 remaining. This is a 600-mile truck on the highway. That's pretty damn good economy. 20 miles per gallon out of something this big in break-in period. I hate how it's always dinging at me. I think it's because my bag is sitting in the rear seat. I gotta turn that off. Pulled a little far forwards here, but that's okay. Still getting used to this whole new thing. And I could also fill up ethanol free. We don't want that. We just want the diesel. All right, so let's fill up with diesel, see how much we can put in there with 50 miles usable remaining. We have a little tag here. Not sure what that means, but it says B20 max, so we can't do more than 20% biodiesel. All right, sounds good. Does this get hung up somewhere around there? Looks like it. All right, let me pay and get this thing fueling. All right, the first ever fuel. It's just starting to dump in here. Nice. And we still have like 70% diesel exhaust fluid, maybe even more, 80%. So we're good for another like 8,000 miles before we need DEF. When we're towing, we're probably gonna have increased DEF usage. And have to say, the weather coming over here was brutal. The rain was insane. We had the wipers going full rip, and that was pretty wild for sure. Couldn't see a thing, but gotta say the truck handled it just fine. The lane centering's pretty nice, actually. You know, it's a little bit sway, but can totally handle long, you know, straight roads for sure, just doing its own lane centering, which has been great. So I'm impressed with the fuel economy. I'm impressed with the driver assistance, the seat comfort, the sound system. The ride quality is terrible with the 350 unloaded. And we have these Bridgestone Dueler AT tires. That'll all get switched out at some point. We got to get some good wheels and tires on this thing. But man, loving it so far. Really loving it. We're going to be about an hour late to pick up Alyssa at the airport, but that'll be, she'll be all right. She said she can hang out for a minute. So man, just can't get over the truck. Loving. Today was just cruising for a while. I took some exits, drove it around some local roads just to cycle the speed and revs, but way less than we did yesterday. We're, what, 60%, 55% of the way through break-in period. I feel like as we get deeper into break-in, it matters a little bit less. I've been kicking it down a gear or there here, you know, going up 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th gear, and then coming back up. But it sits at like 1,500 RPM at 70-ish. It's right down there at tick over, basically, going down the highway. Well, there we go. Just under 30 gallons in the tank. Still plenty left over, maybe 5 or 6 gallons left, but I was getting hungry. So this is the one problem. If it was an electric car, I could have plugged it in and walked inside. But here I had to wait for it to fuel up before I could go in. So now I guess I got to go find another parking space, and then we can go in to get snacks and stuff, pee, do all those things. So let me just take a picture of the trip computer, and then I'm going in Buc-ee's, and then we're ready to hit the road again. We got to get in and out of here quick to get Alyssa. I have parked back where I feel most comfortable, over by the electric car chargers. Got the superchargers over here, EA over here. Nice color on the Lyriq, by the way. That looks nice. And they're ripping along, 34%. This middle charger here is broken, so that one's down. Weird how the middle one has CHAdeMO. I've never actually seen that. Dual CHAdeMO here. What the heck? That's wild. Triple, quadruple CHAdeMO. Every single one of these is CCS CHAdeMO. What? Never seen that before. Well, dang, it was so busy in there. Just got some pineapple and a brisket sandwich, and a Taycan and a Hummer EV rolled up over here. So let's go take a look. Pretty sure that Taycan over there rolled up to the station that was showing inoperable. So they may have to move from what it looks like. Oh no, it looks like they just grabbed the cable from the one on the right to plug in there. That's fine, that works just fine. Hummer pulled in, so that's a full EA station, and then plenty stalls available at the Tesla. You know what? I could have been pretty much fully charged in the Taycan by the amount of time it took for me to get in there, get the snacks, deal with all the people. That thing would have been at 80, 90%. And I had to wait for my truck to fill up. So I get the EV charging thing really isn't a problem. What I couldn't do in an EV is do 555 miles on that one charge and then get right up to 100% that quickly. So, okay, pros and cons to everything, but that is the way it goes. So Back in the truck. Next stop, Atlanta Airport. Good thing I have lane centering to eat this sandwich. Got a bunch of napkins. We got to roll. And yeah, cover some distance. So let's do it. Out of Buc-ee's we go, and to ATL International Airport. Welcome to the Atlanta Airport. I have found Alyssa, and she is here for a road trip with the trailer. And this is her first time seeing the truck. Oh, gotta unlock it. What do you think of the truck?
Wow, this is all you right here. Thanks. Wonderful. This is a truck.
Nice truck, isn't it?
Nice truck. This is all you.
What do you mean?
It's all you right here. This is yours.
This is, yeah.
Mine. Pineapple. Great. Why are you still filming?
All right, so we are off to Douglas, Georgia, 195 miles. So went a bit out of the way up here to grab you, and now we're heading to go get the trailer down in Douglas. We got to swing by a Tractor Supply on the way, okay? Need to get some stuff. All right, let's do it. Throw this thing into reverse, Terry, and off we go. We have arrived, I don't know, about an hour down the road to the local Zaxby's.
Zaxby's, we like Zaxby's.
Oh, yeah. What's the initial thought on the truck, Alyssa?
It's a nice truck. It's a nice... So big. There's so much room. There's so many places to put stuff. And it's just so big.
Yeah, you can put your piece in here.
Yeah. I'll actually have one of those. Yeah, it's great. I like that it has a little outlet here, which is great. So when we're on some good road trips, I can do some editing on the road and have our Rivian has that too, but it's in like the most inconvenient spot and it's really hard to find sometimes. It's nice that it's right there. Yeah, I really, I like it. The first thing I do want to get rid of is these underfloor storage so we can flip them up and it kind of be like the Cybertruck.
Yeah, so back here, there's that storage compartment.
Yeah.
That folds down.
Folds down?
Yeah, it's like adjustable.
Oh, so we can take it out?
Yeah, it just folds into the back of the seat basically, so you have a flat floor. It's designed to do what you want it to do.
Oh, perfect. Then there's no modifications needed on my end.
There's even a little bit of storage behind that seat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, yeah, these seats are super comfortable. been both on the massaging seats. I mean, you can't.
They run for a while too. You know how sometimes they shut off like 20 minutes in some cars? These don't shut off.
No, yeah, I noticed. Yeah, it is still going. So, still ripping, rocking, and rolling, and it's pretty sweet. Our range is really great.
Yeah, we're showing 509 miles at 3/4, a little less than 3/4.
Choosing to stop, which is a different world to be in.
Right, because we went by, basically you stop when you want to stop, not when the car wants you to stop.
Correct.
I always feel like we have to, which I don't mind. I still prefer an EV road trip personally.
Yeah.
Just not while towing. But
no, not while towing.
While towing, it's really terrible because you have to stop every time. But when you're driving, without a trailer, you stop, you can charge for a bit. You go with a trailer, it's like you have to stop at every stop, and you got to stop forever.
Forever.
That's why we got this truck, because that was getting annoying real quick.
Yeah, we have a lot of big trips planned that we need to have something that can haul stuff across country. And
like real quick, it's like we got something on the West Coast, then East Coast, then Colorado,
we
then
don't
here.
have 3 or 4 days to do towing trips anymore. Our time is very, very limited. So that's why we got to limited, because it limits our less time on the road.
Smart.
Yeah.
Like it. Okay, let's go get some food. That was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Zaxby's. Good to be back in the South.
Yeah, as my glasses are fogging up.
Yeah, the humidity here is certainly pretty.
24/7.
So are you gonna drive the truck now?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Give it a whirl. Alyssa's good at operating heavy machinery, so no concerns. Dang, such a nice truck. You got to watch that side bolster getting in and out,
Yeah. There's the keyhole thing is already rusting.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah.
We got a rust on here? All right. Well, we can warranty it. Diesel.
Right, does this thing know where it's going?
Once Android Auto hooks up, we'll be good. Wow, we're getting 0 MPG. How about that? It was showing 20.1 or something earlier. Don't know what's going on there.
Okay.
All right. So, your first time driving the old diesel. We got 20.7. We're getting.
Right, everybody watch out. Good girl coming through. Sheila.
Sheila, that's what you want to name the truck?
Sheila.
Why is it a girl?
Because girls are big bad bitches. This is a big bad bitch.
All right.
Sheila. Plus, our other truck's got a boy name. It's Brooke.
Brock.
And Chomper was pretty masculine.
Oh, yeah. You got a lot of turn there.
Yeah, I heard you.
What do you think about driving it so far? What's the full review?
Full review is there's a lot to view.
Yeah, it's pretty wide on the road, but it isn't too bad. It's not like a 450 dually or anything.
What would be the difference of that?
Well, wider
mirrors?
Wider front track and a dually system in the rear, which this doesn't have.
Surprised at how thin the steering wheel is.
Yeah, it's big and thin, which is Rolls-Royce style, actually.
Yeah, I would have expected it to be a lot chunkier.
I'm glad it's not. I'm not a fan of chunky wheels. There's a Circle K over here with DC fast charging right there. Right there, DC fast chargers.
Bye.
ABB Terra 184s.
Don't need you.
We don't need that with this thing, nope.
She don't like it.
So we've got 124 miles to get there.
Am I driving the whole way?
Well, at least for, get an hour behind the wheel, just feel it out, see what you think. Yeah.
Oh, what a beautiful sunset we got in the background. Driving our Ford F-350 Super Duty.
With a rainbow.
With a rainbow in the South in Georgia. Just ate Zaxby's. Living the American dream.
That's right.
That's it. Just a dream.
How's it feeling out on the road?
Oh my god. You haven't stopped recording. My opinion hasn't changed. It feels great. It's pretty smooth. Not as bumpy as I thought. I mean, you hear, yeah, you feel things, but it's a truck, so I don't really have that high of expectations, I would say. It's just pretty cushy. I'm gonna smack my massaging seat on. Try some lane centering stuff and give you guys another opinion once I have one. Right now I don't have a full opinion for you guys to gauge my overall thought of driving this truck. So you can point that thing away from me.
A little driver switcheroo. How'd it go driving?
It was great, smooth.
You think
Bumpy.
it's smooth?
No.
Not bumpy? What do you?
It's definitely bumpy, but not bad though. It's a truck.
Drive's good for a truck though.
Yeah. I would agree.
Do you think you'll ever end up just driving this randomly?
I mean, from time to time, but I'm usually hauling the dogs, so unless we find a good situation and set up and the dogs like to go up and down stairs, I don't foresee it be driving it too much.
I think it's easier to get in this than your Audi though, no?
Maybe, but they're really messy, so might want to keep this clean.
Yeah, good point. Good point. And we have arrived to Douglas, Georgia. 920 miles from the start of the trip. We've made it to the destination. Let's look at trips. Oh, that's 920 miles on the odometer. 900 miles here. 21 mpg because we were back roads the last little bit. Pretty amazing efficiency, actually. Douglas was bigger than I expected it to be. And there's a World War II flight training base here, which will be cool. But we can pick the trailer up first thing in the morning. This is the cargo trailer capital of the world. Every other building has something to do with trailers. You can see the camera's all fogging up here because it's so humidified outside. Nasty south humidity. Can't believe we're moving back to this crap. But damn, this truck looks sick at night with the freaking lights up there, doesn't it? As they go off. I saw someone on the Super Duty forums just painted these wheels black and then put a big tire on it, and it looked great. So I think that might be what I do, is just put a bigger tire on this thing and call it a day. Probably drift it around the track on these and tear them up. Who wants to see this thing full send sideways on the track? I do, at least. We're almost out of braking period. I have not hit it at wide open throttle yet. Not even close. So she's ready to put in some work tomorrow. Once we hit that 1,000-mile mark, we're going to let her breathe a little bit. Can't wait.